So the reason I'm making this video mostly is just to make it because I'm used to feeling a certain way about taking action, and I'm trying to be past that right now so that when it comes time to do something new, I can just do it. And I'm finding the best way to do that. Well, there's a couple ways. And I think that the most powerful so far is just the reminder. And the reminder is enough for me to know that there's an other side to certain actions that I normally wouldn't take, and that other side is not governed by what I fear it might be. That other side is more akin to magic and surprise and delight, and everything seeming to just work out the way I need it to. Man, I spent years feeling lost and confused and thinking I know what was going on, but when it came down to actually talk about what was going on, I just didn't have not only the words, but like the actual experience required to speak with authority. But you have more insights and you refine your understanding, and that's what I've been doing. I've just been learning, and I've been teaching myself. I've been learning from others. But the biggest lesson that I've had recently has been to actually trust, I think. And I was thinking of saying that as action, but that's not really what it is. It is sort of, but it's not a physical action I'm taking in the real world, in the outer world, in the physical world, in the world of matter, which I don't even really believe in anymore. It's more of just a reflexive idea at this point to me. And that this action that you take that I'm advocating for is more along the line of thinking, of just setting the intention to do something, really. And people will now say at this point when they're talking about manifestation that you let go of the outcome. You let go of needing it to hit any specific expectation. And I think the best way to do this that I found is just forgetting about it. Just forget about it. Set the intention and then move on. Just forget. And it's okay if you can't, right? Because you're going to want to remind yourself, especially, depends, right? If the intention is to feel a certain way about a certain thing, then you're probably going to want to practice that feeling. That's when you remember. But that's not what I'm talking about. For example, I set the intention to heal and mend my relationship with money, with not having any money or having money, right? Because you can have different ideas and beliefs and stories based on those two standpoints. I don't have enough money. I need some more. Oh shit, I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy. That's not my life. That's not who I am. I can't see myself, etc. Right? Or you do have money and it's like, well, what's that like? You know? You give it away, you spend it all. Something happens and all of a sudden you have to use it to pay bills or pay off a debt. You know? Something comes up. Or something has been coming up, and then you get the money, but all of a sudden you're like, well, I wish I could enjoy it. But it's unnecessary to go through that whole frustrating dance. It is necessary to a degree. It is necessary. Even when you consciously choose not to do that anymore, you still have to go through it. As Richard Alpert would say, it's grist for the mill. You're going through it now with a purpose, with an intention to be not so much done with it, but over it. You're over it. You're disenchanted by the illusions you lived your life by, and you want something else. And so you choose something else. To choose something else, you have to be able to choose something else. That means you have to have an alternative to go towards. And you're not going to go towards that if you're stuck with only the routines and the actions that you've habituated yourself with, that you're conditioned into, that you reflexively think about and feel in any given situation. Because then you're just going to practice lamenting over your routine. You're not going to do anything about it. So you have to be able to sit down or stand or walk, and you have to be able to contemplate, to meditate, to become familiar with your reflexes of thought and emotion. Once you do that, you can feel without getting caught up. Not right away. And it won't be as profound as you might be thinking it is, although it can be. But the profundity is more of an emotion. It's just another emotion. And it really has nothing to do with the act of letting go, of feeling something and then being over it, having transcended it, is just no longer seeing yourself as it. Right? You look at the hand, you see the hand, but you know the hand is not the body. Right? The hand can say, I am the body, I am the arm, but then the arm says, whoa, wait a second, that's the hand, I'm the arm, I'm the body. But then the body says, whoa, wait up, that's just the arm, I'm the body. And you transcend it, and you keep going back, and you're not separate, it's still there, the hand is still part of the me, it's part of this whole totality, but it's not the whole totality, right? Depending on, what philosophy you subscribe to, you follow and practice. It's the same with your thoughts, right? You can transcend that feeling of me as well. It doesn't go anywhere, although you'll notice it fluctuate. So it does go, but it's more of a returning, right? It just returns to that zero, that disappearance. Returns to the true self. So it's not dying, it's not disappearing, it's just becoming more of what it already was. But you can leverage metacognition to recognize that you are not that and have space around it effortlessly, right? Just like you have space around your hand, you look at it and you know you're not your hand. There's space to where the hand is and where, I guess, you are behind your eyes, where you feel like you are most of the time. And so that's transcendence. And inner transcendence is, someone's yelling at you and you feel flustered, but then you realize you're not the flusteredness. And you realize you have nothing to do with it's just an emotion. They're just thoughts, right? And that's what you practice. You practice that distance, not pushing it away. You embrace it, but you wake up to the fact that there's space around it. There always has been. But your attention, it closes up. It here's the frustration, and you just kind of you notch your attention into a little ball around it, and it just controls you. Now you're this perception. You're like, there's the enemy, there's the antagonist, and here's me, the victim, and I need to respond. I need to attack them or retreat or do something, right? Or hide away in fear. I'm going to finish making my tea. Tea time. Why do the British pronounce it British? It's because they drank the tea. They drank the tea. Speaking of tea, green tea, I recommend. I just learned recently that green tea has L-theanine, and that induces alpha brainwaves, which help create a state of brain-heart coherence, which can help with feelings of trust and wholeness. That's the calm you're feeling, right? It's not really a whole brain alpha coherence, it's just in certain portions. But if you do like an alpha meditation practice, like the Silva program, which I do recommend, and that's another video I'll do, is people who are struggling with relaxation and getting into alpha states is something that I struggle with too. But I've had enough success now that I understand that persistence pays off. Intentful persistence, right? You're not struggling. You're working on your mindset first. You're working on your attitude. You're working on how you approach your resistance and the tension that comes up during the meditation, so you're not balling up around it. Else, the more you can hold the space, the more natural the alpha state comes. It just takes practice. You can teach yourself to relax slowly, over time, over weeks, over months. You just relax more and more and more, and then it doesn't. You build a confidence, and it's just easier. But yes, my main point for this video was intention. Set an intention. I said I want to mend my money. Let's go back to that because I didn't finish that point. I want to mend my relationship with money. And literally, and I wrote it down. I didn't say it out loud. I wrote it down, and literally the next day, I see first a workshop for Joe Dispenza comes up, which is something I've been interested in his work, and it's illuminated so much of the journey for me. It connected a whole bunch of different dots for me. But then I came across a workshop run by Mind Valley. It's not a workshop, more of like an event they do. You know how they do their ads? They follow that Hormozy guideline for like hooking someone with value and then pulling them in for a bigger offer. Which I used to score. I'm like, now there's your offer. But I'm not really into that anymore. I think there's a place for it. I think that scorn is another one of those unconscious reflexes I'm going to be working on. My dog is asking to go outside. And I, as a benevolent pet owner, will allow her to do so. And it came up literally the next day. I had no idea they were doing that. It just did not come across my field of awareness, my conscious field of awareness, until I set that intention. Maybe it was always there. And it's like saying green, and then all of a sudden everything green in your environment just automatically comes out, right? But still, intention is powerful. You won't even see opportunities until you tell yourself you're looking for them, right? Say what you want about manifesting, even if you don't believe in manifesting, which I'm assuming if you're watching this video and if you've watched it to this point, you do believe. You do believe, or you want to believe. And to those people who don't really believe, they're still skeptical, but they want to believe, I'm saying keep going. Go as far in as you can right now. Yes, you are deluding yourself. But you're going to learn that that's the work. You've deluded yourself this whole time. How many times have you felt a certain way about a situation, so certain that it was true, only to find out that it wasn't? Or that was something you were worried about never happened? What you were was deluded. You were so bought into a narrative that you were selling yourself, and it felt so real, but it was wrong. It wasn't real. You were deluded. So choose your delusions, and that'll shape the meaning you give to the world. That shapes your intention automatically. In fact, the more you can go beyond your reflexes, your unconscious programming, your negative self-talk that you've told yourself for so long, and the assumptions that have been built on a feeling of maybe unworthiness since you were a child, for example, the more naturally powerful you become. You don't even have to do affirmations of power. You don't even have to, do the diet and do the yoga. I mean, I'm sure those things help. But you were naturally already, you came into this world as a very powerful being, as the most powerful being you could ever possibly be, as a human being. But somewhere along the way, you limited yourself reflexively. And that's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. So take responsibility, transcend yourself, and choose a new way to be. And keep choosing it. Keep reminding yourself what it feels like to be this person you want to be. And keep reminding yourself, and keep reminding yourself, and don't forget. And let the emotion be powerful. Let it build. Build and build and build. Like any anger, like any fear, like any trauma. Let it be your new way. And you'll see circumstances change to meet that. In some ways you'll have envisioned, in some ways you wouldn't have even known to envision. Some ways will, take you completely by surprise. Once you start doing this work, you'll notice how, you'll have certain thoughts, and those thoughts are immediately reflected in someone else around you. It has nothing to do with you, but their conversation just shifts to mirror whatever you were thinking about somehow, right? And so you'll know deeper and deeper and deeper that your ability to act in the world as a causal entity, as a causal agent, is based on how you align yourself with your thinking, with your overall attitude. Or you call it your altitude, your height, your spiritual height. You don't even have to call it a height, you can call it a depth. I know that in Zen they like to say going deep, going down. So, maybe you can see it as a depth. The depth of the unconscious you're awake to, you're situated in. So you can let things go. So that's my video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if I talked too fast. That's something I can work on. When I get excited, I tend to 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. If you want to see more, let me know. I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to do this. It's been something I felt like I wanted to do for a while. So yeah.